Hey guys, and welcome back to the game room. Pretty big month this month. It's been pretty good for me in finding some hard to find things on my list. Some time ago, I don't know if I've talked about it before, but I made a list of games for the systems I'm kind of hunting for and those particular games. And I actually hit quite a lot of them. I also picked up a few games that I once had some time ago and for foolishly traded it away or for whatever reason or another. And a lot of these games are just games that I never got a chance to play that I wanted to, or games that I have played and just was never able at the time to actually afford them to own them myself. So we'll just kind of go through. We'll start with the Genesis and all the way up to Dreamcast with a couple of surprise ones in between. So we'll just dive in, and we'll start with one of the ones on my hit list that I've always wanted to play and own and never got the chance to, but X-Men 2 Clone Wars. This is complete. In fact, most of the games I'm going to show, all but 2 of them are complete. I'll get to those when we get that. Next one I got, which is also on my list, Vector Man 2 in the cardboard box. Also complete. Another one on my list, Golden Axe 2, which I know some of these are in other compilations, but sometimes the experience of playing them on the original hardware they're meant for or designed for is often the best experience, at least in my opinion. I know some people might be perfectly fine with the compilations, and I've got a few of them myself. But this particular one I was kind of surprised at. I came across it with Matt when we were out hunting, and I remember seeing or watching a review on it, and it actually goes quite high on eBay. I've seen it go anywhere between $40 to $75. There's actually one guy I know of on his site that's selling it complete for about $74.95. We managed to snag this for about 20 bucks. Still kind of on the high end for any of these games these days, but apparently the game's really good. It's a classic beat 'em up. I'll just show it to you now. It's the Death and Return of Superman. Really good beat 'em up though by Sunsoft. Probably one of the better Superman games out there that I've ever come across. I think it was also on the Super Nintendo. I'm not 100%. Then again, I'm not a Nintendo guy. So, yeah, but great game for the Genesis. This one, another story behind it. I was actually talking with a girl behind a counter at one of the local used game stores, and she mentioned that this is actually a game that she's been trying to find too, that she didn't see often, and often it was kind of cheap, but on the rare side, at least for her, it doesn't command a lot for it. But I have seen it like brand new. I actually found a copy for about $45. So I picked this one up for about $13, I think. But Booger Man, love the fart jokes. I did play this one when I was littler at a friend's place. He actually had a copy. Fun little platforming game. This one I was really surprised. Matt came across this one. I mentioned that I had seen it at a store loose. They were selling it for nearly $20, just the cartridge itself. And I was like, there's absolutely no way I was going to pay $20 for a game that was just loose. He actually called me up. He's like, dude, I found that game you're looking at, and it's complete. The only problem is it's got the glue bleed through on it, which I've seen a lot on this particular cartridge just because it is one of the older Genesis games. But it's Gunstar Heroes. This is one that if you're hunting for the Genesis games, have this one along with your collection. It does go for a higher price on eBay. I don't know why this one was so low, but we managed to grab that one. So that was kind of cool. I had played it on the Virtual Console on the Wii way back when it was released. I had never played it before. I really liked it. It was like, oh, wow, I wish I had this on the Genesis. One of the odd ones, this is actually a Sonic game I didn't have in my collection, and I've got most of them, as you kind of have seen in some of my past videos. This is kind of a harder one. I think it was only released at Target at the time. I'm not sure. But there's 2 versions. One with the game itself and another one with this game and I think Sonic Advance 2. I'm not sure. But it's Sonic's Pinball Party. Picked it up for about 14 bucks. It's not complete, but it's really uncommon for me to come across Game Boy Advance games these days that are complete. Moving on to Sega CD. Another incomplete one, Lethal Enforcers. I grabbed this one because it actually came with the gun. I didn't have the light gun for the Sega Genesis, Sega CD. This one I know came in a cardboard box with the instructions and the gun, but I didn't have the box and it didn't have the instructions with it. So maybe someday I'll come across it again and it will be complete. If not, not a big deal. I'm not too concerned. This one, I think this is a sequel maybe to Musha on the Genesis, which I don't have that one either, but it's by Tengen. It's Robo Aleste, and this one's seen some better days. You can tell here, I don't know if that's water damage or if it's just scratches, but it's just on the outside cover. On the inside, it's perfectly fine. The manual's in great condition. The backside's kind of dirty. There's some, I don't know, it looks like water got to it or something or somehow, but the disc is in great shape. The manual wasn't touched. I mean, it's clean. So I'm not quite sure what happened, and I did try to clean that with soap and water, and it didn't really come out. So I think it's just the plastic that's scratched up. This one I saw on somebody's review. It's a Viking RPG called Heimdall, but it looked fun. So I thought I'd try it. I came across it. It was real cheap, so I snagged that one. This one I've seen on the SegaCDUniverse by Vampyre Mike. I think it was him. It's Surgical Strike. You're kind of on a 3D hovercraft. You're doing quick time events. It's kind of fun. I mean, it's a tactical game. You kind of got to remember what happens and the different paths to take, but it's kind of fun. Another one for the light gun. Mad Dog McGree, kind of a copy. I think this is there's two variants. There's the jewel case one, and there's just the box version. I have seen the box version, and for whatever reason, it was a lot more than the jewel case one. But I found this one for maybe $6. I think they were asking 12 or 15 for the boxed version. It was strange. I'm not sure what the deal with that is. Okay, on the Sega CD. Common one. It's on the Genesis. It's on the 32X. I'm not sure if it's on the Sega CD or not, but it's Virtual Racing. Case has seen better days. It's all cracked and everything. But another one. Actually, I don't know why. It's like I see these reviews. It's like I end up finding them, and I haven't seen them before. But especially with Saturn games, because they're really uncommon to come across. But High Octane. It's kind of like Hydro Thunder, but there's a lot of clipping. The enemies can go through you. You can go through the enemies. The side of the wall, as you can see. It's kind of you get power ups and you're shooting them down and trying to get first place. Not the best graphics, but for the time, it was pretty good. I was kind of excited to find this one. It's a Working Designs game, nothing fancy. Don't get your hopes up. But it's Iron Storm, cracked case. It's got some wear and tear, but you know they're only asking $14 for it, so I ended up picking it up. So now that gives me at least 2 of the Working Designs on the Saturn. This one, not in great case, great condition, but I hadn't seen it, and I always wanted to play this one, and I'm kind of a fan of the older games. It's Duke Nukem 3D. It's kind of torn here, the manual's kind of ripped. I didn't see that when I picked it up. It was the only copy they had. And it's the only copy I've really come across. And again, Saturn games aren't easy to really come by these days. And they're expensive. Moving on to Dreamcast. A system I'm kind of more collecting for. This is probably the most one aside from the Saturn I'm trying to find. So I'm adding up my collection on those. But I got Time Stalkers. Clean. One that I kind of want to try. I'm not really big into Sims, but it was only a couple bucks. Railroad Tycoon 2, and it's in 3D. I'm not sure. Now in 3D. I don't know. Maybe the game is in 3D. I'm not sure. Test Drive 6. Just your basic racing games. This one I only picked up for a couple bucks, but it was in pretty clean condition. It is a sports game. Virtual Tennis, but it's an awesome sports game because you have 4 players, and it's addictive and fun and addictive and addictive. Last month, I had picked up Tomb Raider Revelations, and I had said that I thought it was the only one on the Dreamcast, and I was incorrect. I think I corrected myself, but here's the other one that I came across. Here's Chronicles. So I managed to find that. Kind of surprised. This one, I don't know why. It was only a couple dollars, but I got the Grinch. Yeah, woohoo! Everybody see that one. Um, this one, another one I always wanted to play, never got a chance to, and I liked the second game, which unfortunately never came out in the US for the Dreamcast. It came out later for the PlayStation 2 and the GameCube and the Xbox. Capcom vs. SNK, the original US version even. Usually you find the import for real cheap, and this one doesn't come cheap at all. I don't know why. It's strange. This is a game I actually had in my collection way back when. I foolishly traded back, and I haven't been able to find it complete. Finally, I just bit the bullet, and I said, okay, he's got it. I'm going to get it. It's Seaman. I mean, who can resist Leonard Nimoy talking? It's awesome. It does have the mic in it, and it does have, from what I find, a lot of people are missing the little green mic cover, too, for it. But it has that. In fact, the wires are actually still in the plastic. It doesn't even look like it's been used. Or if it has, it was just briefly opened and put back in. But yeah, it seems like the mic is really hard to come across. The game itself, I've seen loose all over the place for real cheap. But getting it complete in the box with the mic has not been an easy quest to find. Last one, just to kind of wrap things up here. It surprisingly is not a Sega game, but because I'm starting to get more into the SNK stuff with the Neo Geo X, and if you see my review on the Volume 1, it's actually, I've been enjoying it a little bit more. This was only available on this particular system, or if you paid $100 or more for the Neo Geo version. But it's SVC Chaos, and I enjoy those fighting games. So I'm still, as quirky as it is, trying to find that Capcom Fighting Evolution game. I saw it once, it was $10, and I didn't grab it, and I went back, and it was gone. So, trying to work that one out. But that's all I have for this month. Pretty big load, pretty good stuff in there, surprisingly. And if you have a chance, I don't know if you've taken a look, my last video I put up of Matt and I trying to break into Greg's room. Go take a look if you like campy, stupid little skits. Acting is horrible, but Greg did a really great job in editing, and we all had fun doing the short films. I think we did it all in a total of like 2.5 hours of filming and an hour worth of editing, for at least on Greg's part. I did another half hour of editing for the first half of it, which you can tell a big difference. But it was fun. I don't know if we're going to do more skits in the future like that, or what's going to happen. It was just one of those, hey, let's try this out and see where it goes. But I encourage you to go check it out, and then check out Greg's channel, Arcade Impossible. He's got some more stuff coming out, I know, and I think I might make a few appearances in some future episodes, but we'll see. Anyway, guys, thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.